It is important to understand that you are a multi-dimensional being. You are the one, yet the many. You are far greater than your mind has ever given you credit for. But it's equally important to dive deep into the levels of awareness. When you reach that state within your being is when you touch the pure wellspring of consciousness, which is imperishable, timeless, indestructible. It's the field of infinite possibilities, limitless potential. It's the complete part of who you are that observes your thoughts, feelings, and actions. You are the great space of witnessing, the container for the thinker, the doer. All of it is witnessed within the field of your being. And this witness doesn't age. It doesn't grow, learn or unlearn. It is perfect, whole, and complete as it is. But the focal point of consciousness that is associated with the body-mind avatar appears to learn and to grow in order to experience its own self through a finite vantage point. Out of this pure dynamic expression is the godly principle. This is the impersonal I am, in which we experience existence through our unique body-mind instruments. This arises out of our unchanging awareness, that which is beyond space, time, and causality, that which observes all the other parts of your multi-dimensional being as the universe. But you have to pierce through the layers of separation to recognize it was always one, never two. The wave cannot exist independently from the ocean. And you, playing as personalized consciousness, cannot exist apart from the cosmic impersonal consciousness. A light beam is invisible unless it bounces off an object that reflects it. In the same way, pure awareness perceives itself by reflecting through its created form manifestations to create a sense of otherness. Without form, awareness would not know itself, for it sees its own sense of presence by way of its projections, movements within itself to create a mirror reflection. So it can be self-aware. In other words, it can be conscious. Consciousness must have an object to be conscious of. There must be a subject and object split. Electricity is invisible until it is expressed by flowing through the medium of an electrical appliance. Without the appliance, the electricity cannot be known. It cannot be felt. Without the body-mind, the presence of awareness would not be apparent. Once this is established, consciousness can live life as the body-mind. To experience mortality, dual consciousness, limitless being experiencing the constraints of limitation. This is what life is all about. conditioned consciousness, expressing, experimenting, exploring, and expanding. As time goes on, identifying with a particular gender and tradition, culture, race, consciousness gets tired of living with the heavy burden of a personal mode of consciousness, this personhood state of being. The limited shape of individuality and its programming is a heavy burden to carry, because everything that you hold on to is unstable. It's impermanent. It's always changing and always in a constant flux. The things that you hold on to, you eventually lose. You realize that no matter how much you try to change the external reality, not realizing that it's just a manifestation or projection of your inner reality as consciousness, you eventually lose ground. And there will come a time when there will be a yearning, a flowering of consciousness to embrace a deeper stillness, silence, and joy, this grace that arises within you through the power of discernment. And this will compel you to go beyond the ephemeral, the impermanency of this manifested world. It's important to go through this stage, because this is all part of the grand design. To drop all false identities used to mask deep buried pain, self-doubt, and unhealed trauma that you experience as a separate individual, disconnected from the universe. When you drop these false identities that you use to cope with and survive in this short-lived play of forms, this 3D matrix, freedom will be at your doorstep. You'll no longer have to live in anxiety created by fear, this false facade in order to feel safe, to hide and to compensate for our deepest fears of inadequacies and unworthiness. There will be a joy to dismantle all the ego defense mechanisms that try to keep you insulated in a false, illusory sense of powerlessness and limitation, which only reinforces separation from the feeling of unconditional self-love. When you block yourself from self-love, you block yourself from your own light, your own peace and abundance. This is the main cause of emotional pain. Whenever we perceive others around us as something separate, to be feared, we must always remind ourselves that there is another way of perceiving the world that we're experiencing. We can choose to see that there are two choices, two doorways. One leads to oneness or interconnectedness with all things, in which we feel safe, secure, compassionate, empathetic, empowering. We see beauty everywhere. We see love always. Or the second choice, which is to see separateness. And as I mentioned before, seeing through the lenses of separation is a feeling of constriction, hostility, anger, fear, insecurity, competitiveness, scarcity, and further in the downward spiral we go. We can always choose what we perceive in every moment. We can choose the thoughts and beliefs we empower into our reality. It always depends on your focus, your attention, your state of being. Nothing could harm you except your belief in being harmed or hurt from an outside world of reality apart from you that does not exist. The only relationship that you will ever have is with yourself. Don't let your mind and senses fool you into thinking that there are other separate beings and separate experiences apart from you. There is nothing, absolutely nothing, that is outside or separate from consciousness. No matter where you go in life, no matter who you communicate or have relationships with, there will always be an interaction with yourself. Because everyone and everything in every place is within your consciousness. It's a reflection of yourself. You're only responding and reacting to your thoughts in every single moment. It's self-referral and it's self-reflecting. When you realized and you embrace this, then you arrived, then you are home.